Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm really sorry for I haven't been posting very much, but I'm going to start posting again. Okay, so today I'm going to do a reading about the recent meeting between Prince Harry and his father at Clarence house. Okay, so let's get started. So first I'm going to ask, how did the meeting go? How did the meeting go between Prince Harry and King Charles? I think this was the first time they'd met in about, I'm not sure how long, 18 months? But even at the meeting, even at the other meeting they had, it was very, very short, right? This was like more of, you know, I think they had tea and they had time to talk. I get the impression that they finally had time to talk alone, which is good. I get that impression anyway. So that's very good. So, and I could see that Harry was very relieved to have talked to his father. So, and Charles must feel a lot better too. So that's good. So let's figure out, let's ask the cards. How did the meeting go between Prince Harry and Charles? So I'm asking the cards to tune into the energy of Prince Harry and Charles, specifically the energy of their meeting, their recent meeting. And when was that? Was it last week? Yeah, I think that was last week. The time's gone by a bit quickly. So I just want to know the energy of their meeting. You know, what was the energy in the room like with the two of them? How did the just was the energy of the meeting? You know what I mean? So we're getting a sense of maybe how nice they were to each other, or how reserved they were with each other, or how open they were to each other, how affectionate they might have been. You know what I mean? So how did the meeting go? So I'm just going to shuffle a bit more just to make sure I'm getting that energy in. The energy of Harry. So I'm tuning into Prince Harry and his father, King Charles. Sorry, I'm used to calling him Prince Charles. And his father, King Charles. So Prince Harry and his father, King Charles. What was their meeting like? How did it go? How did their meeting go? How did their meeting go? How did the meeting go between Prince Harry and King Charles? I was going to pause for 1 second so I can adjust something. All right, sorry about that. I was just adjusting the camera a bit. So what was the energy of the meeting? What was the energy of the meeting between Prince Harry and King Charles? Oh wow, okay. So those are two there, definitely flew out. The King of Earth and the Chariot. Okay, interesting that we have a king already. So the Chariot. This is like being in control of a situation, an important achievement, right? It was a big deal, their meeting. And the public recognized it. It was an important achievement. Yep. And then the King of Pentacles, the King of Earth. So, there was an actual king in this meeting, right? And the King of Earth here says generous, professional, responsible, practical. And King Charles was being very, very practical. He was being kind, And, yeah. And it says here a successful time, I think the meeting was successful. With those two cards coming in. I'd say, judging by those cards so far, the meeting was very likely successful. So that's great. Just going to adjust the light a bit here. Sorry about that. All right. So thank you for that insight. Those cards just flipped out for us. Thank you for that insight into Prince Charles. Sorry, I'm so used to calling him Prince Charles. Into King Charles and Prince Harry's meeting. How did the meeting go? How did the meeting go? So, Prince Harry, he went to Clarence house, and he saw King Charles for the first time in a long time. And it was it must have felt like an especially long time because of the fact that King Charles has cancer, right? So, how did the meeting go? How did the meeting go between King Charles and Prince Harry? Prince Harry went there to Clarence's house and he met with his father. What was it like? What was the meeting like? How did the meeting go? We already have the King of Earth, which is the King of Pentacles, and the Chariot, which are both very positive. But can we have some more, please? The Wheel. Very significant event. Very significant karmic, what's the word? Karmic, like a karmic feeling to it and a real karmic energy to it, And look what it says at the bottom. A time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. These are good. I think the meeting went well. But let's get some more. I'm so sorry the camera is not focusing all that well. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get a better camera at some point. So, once I get more subscribers. But right now, I'm afraid this is the camera I have. So, sorry about that. Okay. Oops. Oh! Flip out. 1 second. There we go. Two more just flew out for us. Renewal, which is judgment, and 6 of air. Renewal, there you go, right? Renewal. This is a judgment card. It says review and evaluate. A favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. So it could be the new direction of reconciliation, And then 6 of swords. Things are looking up. The end of a difficult situation. Taking a trip. And Prince Harry, took a trip over there to see his father, and it looks to have gone well. All right, can we get some more insight into the meeting, please? More insight into how the meeting went. Is there anything else we can know about the meeting? Is there anything else we can know about the meeting, please, between King Charles and Prince Harry? King Charles and Prince Harry. King Charles and Prince Harry. How did the meeting go? Justice, okay? Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. So maybe they both felt that it was a just way of handling things, Keeping a good sense of balance. Knight of Air. This is Knight of Swords. Intelligent, decisive, idealistic, tireless. And it does seem like, Prince Harry's been very determined to make this meeting happen. It says events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. Creative solutions. So I think Prince Harry has really had quite a Knight of Swords energy going into this. Like determined to cut through the barriers. You know what I mean? And this is also communication. You know what I mean? 9 of Wands. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So how he had to believe in himself to get this done. There could still be a bit of guardedness with this. This can be a bit guarded. Like, sometimes people might still have a few reservations, you know what I mean? But with all of these other cards, that are good, the Hermit, okay? Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. I think maybe King Charles has been doing a lot of thinking, you know what I mean? Meditating, thinking about life, Maybe they're both doing that now as well, thinking about how the meeting went, thinking about how to proceed forward. The Sun, happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success. Have confidence in yourself. Okay, happy outcome. There you go. I think the meeting went well. Overall, there could still have been a bit of, feeling reserved or worried with this. And the Hermit in that respect as well a bit. And Renewal a bit as well. Because that could kind of go both ways here. But I think overall, with the Chariot, the King of Pentacles, the World, the 6 of Swords in this context, the Sun, especially. And And the Justice card, I think it went well. Okay? All right, so let's do some more digging into this. And I'm going to ask how Prince Harry feels about it. How does Prince Harry feel about the meeting? How does Prince Harry feel about the meeting? So thank you for the insight you gave us into the meeting between King Charles and Prince Harry. Can we please get some insight into how Harry's feeling right now? So since the meeting, I think he's had some other engagements, right? He went to an Invictus engagement, right? In London. And then after that, I think he went to Ukraine, right? I've kind of lost track of what's happened since then. But I know he's done some things since then. And I just want to know how he's feeling. Like, I'd like to know specifically how he's feeling about the meeting. But some other things could come up too, maybe, because I'm kind of tap into how Prince Harry's feeling. But I am kind of, if possible, I want to kind of hone in on the energy of his feelings about the meeting. The energy of Prince Harry's feelings about the meeting. How does Prince Harry feel about the meeting? How does Prince Harry feel about the meeting? How does he feel? How does he feel about the meeting? How does he feel about how it went? How does he feel about what's going to happen now as a result of it? How does he feel about it overall? Ooh! Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the Knight of Fire, which is the Knight of Wands. For a second, I thought it was the Six of Wands, which is the Victory card. But in this context, I think this is pretty close. You know what I mean? I think he feels that it went well. I think he feels that his persistence paid off. Now, the Knight of Wands can also be impulsive. But I asked about how he feels about this. It says, a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. I think he feels that, he did the right thing in persisting to get this. I think he feels a sense of accomplishment. I think he feels a sense of accomplishment. And, for his trip to Ukraine, he probably feels a sense of accomplishment about that too, because, and an Invictus thing too, because the army, supporting the army, supporting militaries is very important to him. Oops. Those just flew out. The Two of Earth, this is juggling things. The Four of Fire, this is the Four of Wands, and the Ace of Earth. Okay. Two of Earth, this can be juggling things. Maybe he's juggling a lot of things in his life right now. But I think he feels happy that he was able to make this happen, even with all the things going on. Because King Charles is also juggling all of it. There are a lot of things going on. There are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of elements to this, okay? The Four of Wands, this is a card of firm foundations, celebration. I think he's celebrating. He might not be literally like celebrating in the way we think about celebrating, but I think he's celebrating. Wasn't it his birthday recently too? Yeah, it was his birthday yesterday, wasn't it? So I think he's happy about it. The Ace of Earth, this is new opportunities. New opportunities. Maybe there'll be new opportunities coming in to do with, duties related to the royal family. Maybe King Charles will be willing to give him duties of some kind, even if they're not official. Okay, so those look good so far. How else does Prince Harry feel? Ooh, where'd it go? Page of Wands, another Wands card. So he's feeling good. I think he's feeling, this is fire energy, assertion, like confidence, News of an exciting new endeavor. Yeah, I think he feels that he took the right path. He was good to, keep pushing for that meeting. He feels that it's paid off. I think he feels better, that he's talked to his father, because I think he was very worried about him. I think he feels it's paid off. Okay. Emotionally, in every way. King of Earth. So we have the king again. Yeah, this what came up last time, right? Yeah, this came up in the last one. So yeah, I think he found that King Charles is being, very reasonable and generous and at least at least relatively compared to what's been going on, and kind. You know what I mean? I think he found he was easygoing, right? I think he found he was easygoing. I think I think the meeting went well. Okay, so let's take a look at how King Charles feels about it. How does King Charles feel about the meeting? 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 How does... Ooh! Okay, there are too many there. I will take a few of them. The Chariot, that came up the first time. Page of Earth. Actually, I am going to take them. Because they seem to flip. Like, it wasn't just like my having butterfingers and dropping. You know what I mean? I think I should take these. Sorry about that. Sometimes you have to kind of feel that out when you're a reader. Okay, Knight of Air. This is Harry, I think. And I'm asking about how Charles feels. Okay. Six of Water. Yeah, I was right to take these. Yep. Six of Cups. I was right. Ten of Earth. Yep. And the King of Air. Yeah. Eight of Air. Five of Earth. Okay, that's a bit more negative. And the Queen of Fire. Let's take a look at these. Okay. Wow, that's a lot to come out at once. Page of Earth. New opportunities. New doors opening. Knight of Air. I feel this is kind of part of Harry's energy coming into this. He was determined to do this. Six of Water. This is about remembering the past. Fond memories of the past. It can be nostalgia. It can be parents feelings for their kids. Okay? So that's perfect, okay? Ten of Earth, okay? Family well-being, family togetherness. Dynasties, okay? The King of Swords. And then so he was the king there. So I think he also took on like a King of Air kind of energy as well. Because he was communicating, right? He was being diplomatic, right? He was being direct. The Eight of Air, this can be feeling trapped. It says an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, afraid to take action. Maybe there was something he wanted to say that he didn't say because he felt he couldn't. That's interesting. Maybe there was something maybe there was something Charles wanted to say that he felt he couldn't. Like he felt there was something holding him back from saying something or doing something. Interesting. Okay. The Five of Earth. Interesting. This is Five of Pentacles. This can be being outcast. Worries about money. I don't think it'd be worries about money though with the royal family. Outcast. I'm asking how Charles felt. I think there might have been pressure on Charles not to have this meeting. Maybe he feels that there are people who will get angry with him about the fact he had this meeting. Because apparently he did it quite secretly. I read somewhere in a few different places, so I'm pretty sure like they were valid sources. It wasn't just like clickbait or something. Apparently, when he went down to London, because I think he was in Balmoral before, or whatever the place is that he stays at near Balmoral in Scotland. When he came down, apparently he didn't tell people why he was going down. Apparently, why he was going down to London. Apparently, William didn't know, and apparently William's mad now. So maybe he's anticipating arguments on that. I think it's quite possible Camilla didn't know either, because Camilla, and Harry don't exactly get along all that well. And apparently Camilla, from what I've read in several places, Camilla really isn't spending all that much time with Charles. I mean, she went on that yacht recently by herself with her grandchildren and the billionaire's yacht. And apparently there have been several reports saying that she spends most of her time at that house she has. What's it called again? Ray Mill. But if she is in Scotland, it's quite possible he didn't even tell her, because It would be easy not to, because all he would have to say is, and I get the impression this is what he did say, he could just say, I'm going down to London for something to do with my doctor, right? And apparently that's what William thought too. And so, yeah. Okay. I don't know for sure that she wasn't there, but from what I've read, it seems that she wasn't. Because I read, it seemed like a valid journalist or saying that people looked for a sign of it. Like, you know how the reporters saw Harry going in, right? Apparently some of them looked for a sign, or tried to get hints or information about whether Camilla was there. And apparently they were led to believe that she probably wasn't, okay? But it's interesting that the Queen of Fire is coming up here, because in previous readings I've done, I'm sorry if I'm talking too loudly. I'm just trying to talk loudly because this microphone really isn't the best, but I'm sorry if it ended up being too loud, okay? Anyway, but in readings I've done before, this has come up as Camilla, the Queen of Wands. It's interesting that it's coming up beside this one. Maybe he's thinking that Camilla's going to be mad and kind of like outcast him, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't mean like a literal outcast. I mean, I'm talking about like outcast energies. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Okay, can I have another card, please, to show how Charles feels about the meeting? You know, this outcast card, this could also reflect how, you know, he knew that, you know, Harry was kind of being treated like an outcast. Well, I mean, he was definitely being treated like an outcast. So maybe he's relieved that he's been able to show him affection. Let's see what else. I think with the Chariot coming up again, I think they both felt that they both had a good handle on the situation. I think they felt they both had a good handle on the situation, that it was balanced. That's what I'm getting the sense of here. With the Knight of Air and the King of Air, there is a possibility there could have been a little bit of a disagreement, but if there was, I don't think it was anything major. I think the overriding feeling was one of being glad to have seen each other. You know what I mean? Knight of Fire. Okay, didn't this come up for Harry before? Yeah. Knight of Fire. Interesting. Time is of the essence. Yeah, because he had to time this very carefully, you know. Both he and Charles. I think I'm getting the sense, I feel that Charles might see Harry's, like, it has quite a bit of Knight of Fire energy, you know? Okay, interesting. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope, yeah, and I hope that, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and liking. Liking really helps because it helps me in the algorithm and helps more people see my videos. And then subscribing, of course, would also be wonderful. I'd really appreciate it. I'm planning on starting to upload a lot more videos going forward. So I hope you subscribe. Take care. Yeah, take care. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.